Ask anyone. Ask your girlfriend what the perfect length is, and she would say about 8.5 hours is the perfect length for a video game. You mind out the gutter, you filthy pig. Okay, so the actual perfect number is probably around 10 hours. And right off the bat, I'm just going to come out and say, I know how this looks. As a lot of you know, I'm obsessed with the Final Fantasy games. You know, I'm pretty much into JRPGs in general, and they tend to run a bit longer than 10 hours. Just a bit. Something that could be averaging around 30 to 50, and then, I mean, I got Persona 5 on the shelf there. I haven't even finished that though, but that's like 100 plus hours mainlining it. And the whole point of this isn't to say that longer games shouldn't exist. I'm saying the perfect length is like 10 hours, but nothing's perfect. I don't want longer games to go away, nor shorter games. I'm just saying 10 hours is that sweet spot. 10 hours for a video game is for someone like me. You know, you're an adult. I've got a wife. I've got a 7-year-old son, and a full-time job. I'm trying to do this as a hobby as well. You know, and all the commitments that come with that. You know, you need to obviously spend time with your wife. I've got to make sure that I get my son ready for school, get him to school and home from school. Got to make sure dinner's cooked. Got to make sure the house is all in order and nice and tidy. I've got my full-time job on top of that. So that's 35 hours a week, plus a couple of days that I'm actually in the office. There's commuting on top of that. I've got to find time to plan these videos and then film them and then edit them and then upload them. There's only so many hours in the day. And another thing is, obviously, I'm trying to make videos on games. So I need time to play those games. And the best thing for that would be games that neatly fit into those times that I have that I can play. So for someone that does have all the commitments that I have, 10 hours means I could probably complete a game in like 2 weeks. You know, 3 if I'm being more conservative. But I can get quite a few games finished in a year. That's quite a lot of different experiences I can have. And the more games that I complete, the more satisfied I feel, because, you know, I'm not one that likes leaving things unfinished. You know, if I start something, I tend to want to try and finish it. And it's also really nice to go back to my spreadsheet that I keep and just see how many games that I've actually finished through the year. It gives me a real sense of pride and accomplishment. But shout out to the younger players and the teenagers out there. You know, a game like Crimson Desert, that's for you. That's fine. I'm not trying to decree that games should no longer be more than 10 hours long. Absolutely not. This is just my selfish exploration of an idea. Let's try and make a bit more of a case for this. 10 hours, you can get a really good story told in 10 hours. It's that real sweet spot that gives the story that's being told enough time to breathe without filling it with too much bloat. If you think about other mediums for storytelling, say a movie or a TV series, a 10-hour video game sits nicely within that range of, say, a 10-episode TV show. You know, one that's got no fluff in it, and it knows the story it wants to tell. Because you look at some games that have kind of hit that mark, like Batman Arkham Asylum. The story's tense, it's focused, it doesn't outstay its welcome. It ends when it needs to end. Contrast that with a game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and like by the time I'm halfway through, I'm like, Jesus Christ, is this not done yet? What the fuck? Why is this game going on so long with little substance? You're really going to make me try and conquer all 16 areas of the UK? Can't we just do 8? The story in Valhalla is just way overlong. Like really, really outstays its welcome. Missions just start to feel like chores rather than plot beats. And to be fair, you don't even get a satisfying ending. You just get a message saying, oh, well done, you finished the game. No credit screen. All right, who actually kind of watches the credits? But the credits give you that kind of sense that you've made it. This is done. I didn't get that. Didn't get that from a message. It's like, well done, you beat the story. Carry on. No, the story was long enough. I don't want to carry on. But also with the shorter games, the side content hits differently as well. When the core story is narrower and has more focus placed upon it, it allows the devs to put more time and balance it out nicely with the side content. So the side content can have a bit more thought put into it, instead of it just being just filler and padding for the main game. Like, let's look at Arkham Asylum again. The Riddler trophies, the challenge maps, the collectibles, none of that's required, but it all does feel rewarding. In the more bloated open world games, all the side content feels a bit more mandatory, because if you don't go ahead and do it, you're not going to be the right level for what you need to be for the upcoming challenges in the main story. I would say that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth falls neatly into that one. Or not even just to stay strong enough for the main story, but to even see, say, like the real ending. That's not a bonus, that's homework. 10 hours for the core experience, some optional extras. You get to choose how deep you want to go. And as I touched on before, it gives you way more variety of games that you want to play. If you've got a library that's filled with, say, 10-hour games, well, you can probably play 8 to 10 games in the time it would take you to play one Crimson Desert. Different genres, different stories, different mechanics. Your gaming life just becomes richer from all the different experiences. Developers and publishers obviously want you to spend your time in their game, so they just throw the kitchen sink at them, try and cram everything into them to try and make sure that you spend all of your time in that one game. But the problem is that desire doesn't always serve the player. It can do, but they still need to keep that focus of making a good game. The longer the runtime of a game goes, the harder it is to make it good. I mean, our attention spans are wrecked. It's hard to keep someone engaged for that long. That's why they employ all these different tactics to do it. But at some point, it's just a drag. Give me that sharp, refined game that I can just put it in. We don't put games in anything anymore. What am I talking about? I can put it on, get lost in it for those 10 hours, and then it's done. And I can think, holy shit, that game is incredible. What the hell? And then I'll talk to my friends all about it, talk to all you guys all about it. What a lovely experience to have. And I briefly want to look from a development angle at all this. Shorter games won't take as long to make. We obviously know that developers and publishers want our attention, and they can get that if they focus on kind of a shorter story, great side content that's well thought out, and they can just focus on the core elements of the game. Because right now, games take way too long to make because they're trying to put everything in their games. And it's too much, and they can't keep up. And so now we're waiting 5 years at least for any AAA games. And what was it recently? I think it was Yoshi P. But they were saying that the Final Fantasy games, they're taking so long to make now that someone will play one and get really into it, possibly could be a lifelong fan, but then by the time the next one comes out, their entire childhood has gone by. As adults, we don't realize that, say, 7 years, that's the entirety of secondary school. High school, I don't really know how it works in America, but what? So you play one game as a kid and suddenly you're an adult, and when the next one comes out? That's not good enough. I mean, I don't want to go too deep into that subject right now because I do want to make a whole video on how long games take to make at the minute. So I guess subscribe to watch out for that one. But I do think we'll get more higher quality AAA games quicker if they shortened the length of the games. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make with this video isn't that long games are bad. Even with my busy schedule, I absolutely love a long game. Weirdly, I'm currently playing through Final Fantasy 13 again, which is way more than 10 hours. So I'm just saying that a 10-hour game done right is a complete, respectful and satisfying experience. I'm still obviously going to be playing these 60, 70 hour long games. There are some really good games that happen to be that long. Loads of indie games that are just way shorter than 10 hours. They can't feasibly be 10 hours because of the resources that would take. I'm just saying that 10 hours, I believe, is the perfect length. As I've already said, Nothing's perfect. Things will be more, things will be less. We will love them equally. What do you think is the perfect length game? What games have you played, especially AAA, that you think should have been longer, that you didn't think you got enough of? And what others do you think, like how I feel about Valhalla, way too long, didn't need to be that long? Let me know in the comments down below. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you did. And if you did enjoy this video, then you may also enjoy my video asking, where is Ni no Kuni 3? And you can see that right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you over there in a minute. Bye-bye.